Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It's your boy Quali, host of Nah Stop Playing. This is my podcast, as you all know, and I'm happy to be here. So welcome back. Man, I'm back with another serious topic. Woo-hoo-hoo. Probably one of my favorite topics. Considering my last episode when I talked about mental health, specifically mental health for Black men, I'm probably more excited to record this episode because we're talking about Black fathers, Black fathers. And of course, you know, your boy, I'm a Black father. So, it fits so well. It fits so well. So I'm super excited to be here to talk about this specifically because it's Father's Day and, Juneteenth. You know how I do. We celebrating that Black excellence. We talking about that Black freedom, talking about that, which is super important. And I'm all for it. I'm all for it. And you got to bear with me, audience, because the missus surprised me with something today, and I was super ecstatic about it. She bought me a new mic, a mic for my, podcast, so I can sound sufficient and, be able to talk my ish from a more professional level. I got my AirPods, but that only goes so far. So, the fact that I got the microphone, one check, 1 2 1 2, I'm feeling really good right now. Damn, I kind of sound like LL a little bit. Let me stop. I'm feeling myself. But yeah, today we're talking about Black fathers. So let me give y'all a quick recap. Again, last episode was about mental health for Black men, well, specifically men, but Black men specifically. Excuse me. And I kind of dove into more of like my backstory and kind of how I've been dealing with mental health and kind of how it sprung up on me. The things that affected me during my childhood, specifically my early adolescent years. My toddler years, all the way up into my teenage, and now as a grown man, in a sense, things that I'm working through and trying to build on in a sense, so that I don't one put my sons specifically, but also if I have any daughters, because as you know, I got two sons, so making sure I don't take them through those same pressures and um, negative instances, and it's making sure my daughter is loved on as well. So making sure I love on my children, because it starts with us parents. It starts with us. So I just want to reiterate that, and that was the last episode, and I've gotten a lot of good feedback on that one. So it's time to take it to the next level. So you ready? Come roll with me. I keep laughing because when I'm listening to myself talk through this mic, it's crazy, y'all. It's crazy. So super excited, as you can see, and it's 1 a.m. Uh, 1 a.m. Well, Sunday now, but it's 1 a.m. AZ time, because AZ doesn't acknowledge Pacific or Mountain Standard Time, so it's AZ time, people. So I'm 3 hours behind the East Coast, 2 hours behind the Central, and well, I guess Pacific time. Whatever, that's not important. Let's get back into this episode. So again, today I'm talking about Black fathers. It's Father's Day. You know what I reiterated to last time is that um, men aren't valued as much in society, and it's clear and evident in most senses, right? Because some of the things that are expressed when it comes to men and doing what we need to do, and the accountability that's held, the obligation and accountability that's held to us in terms of you know double standards in a sense, or what we're obligated to do as men, our roles in society, provide, protect, um, create, some substance in a sense, being logical, being uh, firm, and things of that nature. Because if you're not firm, you're a beta, and we can get into that a little later. I'm gonna get on the topic when we talk about alpha versus beta men, and how that just kind of again creates more division within our community. And it's okay for you to do certain things because there's no blueprint to being a man. You know what I mean? It's just people have decided that these are the parameters that they want to set for us as men. But again, that's another topic for another day. So today I just want to talk about Black fathers, and kind of give some details and some backstory on myself, and kind of how I've conducted myself as a father, and some of my woes and some of my celebrations when it comes to being a Black father. You know what I'm saying? So let's get into it. So again, like I alluded so many times on the podcast, I have one son who is turning 8 in December, and I have another son that's in the oven, right? So he'll be here in a couple months. So I'll say late August, early September, but I'm pretty sure he's going to be here in August. Just I don't know. My intuition has been pretty good. I said we were having a boy, and we're having a boy. And the fact that he is growing at the rate that he's growing and as active as he is, I'm pretty sure he's going to be an early baby in a sense. I'm claiming 39 weeks. I said what I said. My lady, if she let her let me say that to her. Nah, that ain't. Don't try to wish him too early. Let him cook as long as he need to. I'm like, nah, he need to be out here now with his pops, and we getting ready to take over the world in a sense. You know what I mean? So, um, yeah. But I'm just super excited because it's my second chance at this thing at fatherhood in a sense, right? Because again, there's no blueprint to being a father, and you kind of learn by trial and error in a sense, right? So let's get into it. Let's talk about my backstory as a father and some of the things that I've gone through thus far, right? So again, like I said, my eldest son is turning 8 in December, and me and his the mother are no longer together. Well, of course, because I'm with my lady, well, my wife to be, and it's been pretty rough, man. Like super rough, if you ask me. When I tell people my story, they just kind of look at me with a lot of empathy, like and well, sympathy because they can't empathize with me, of course, because they're not going through it. But they're like, man, I took my hat to you because for you to going through what you've gone through thus far regarding your son and knowing how much you care about him, most people would crack under the pressure, especially with things that you've gone through. And I'm like, well, one thing I can say from this experience outside of being able to be a father to my kid is or even having the experience of being a father because a lot of people aren't blessed with that opportunity to be a parent, so I'm grateful for that in itself, but also just the fact that um I got a son. Like most men, their pride is their son. Their pride is their son. Their first love is their daughter. You know what I'm saying? Because that's the first woman that you can love unconditionally with no expectations, right? So, of course, when you're dating or you're going through the courting phase, or if you are even getting married, there's an expectation on you from that woman, or there's an obligation to you to that woman. And depending on how you perform, there's a no, yes, no, maybe. Yes, we're gonna be together. Maybe we're gonna be. Nah, I ain't fooling with you, partner. You know what I mean? So your daughter, all she wants is your quality time. Her love language is quality time. So you just spend your time with her. She gonna love on you, and my daddy is my hero. And you set the standard for what she's going to expect out of men in her life. So if you're not there and you're absent, she gonna be ride good D and probably be on Love and Hip Hop at some point. But if you're there, you're present, and don't get me wrong, sometimes you can be a present parent and not fulfill the obligations of what that child wants or that teenager wants or what that young adult wants. So, you can't really determine what's going to happen, but the more you're involved, I feel like there's a positive impact on that kid, especially if you are, you handle your business and y'all build good rapport and there's good cohesion between you both. I think that it can work out for the better. But you got to try to steer them in the right direction. Now they're going to go their own way at some point, but you can kind of try to help steer that, and it starts with you being in the household. So that's super important. But let me get back into my story, right? So again, my son was born uh, December back in 2014, and it's crazy because like none of this was planned. Like what happened was me and his mother we actually were broken up because we had been together. Me and his mother started high school sweethearts in a sense, right? Everything was cool. And then went to college, and throughout that timeline from meeting and getting to know each other, dating, and all that good stuff, right? um, there was a lot of toxicity. And I kind of I go into this a little bit on one of my other episodes. It might be my mental health episode. If not, it probably is it's one of them episodes. So just listen to all of them. Support and listen to all of them. But we uh our relationship was very toxic. Uh and a lot of the toxicity that was going on her. Don't get me wrong, I'm not perfect. I wasn't perfect, not perfect, and I'm not claiming to be. And I'm not trying to put all onus on her because I played my part in some of the negative and toxic energy as well. But I'm talking from my perspective, so I can only talk from that. And again, if you want me to be accountable, I can do a whole episode on where I went wrong with all women in a sense, right? Because I own up to it. I know, man, I was a doggy dog. You know, even in elementary, I told y'all I had two girlfriends in first grade. You know what I'm saying? It's like they knew about each other. So, for a long time I was doing things I shouldn't have been doing. But again, when you have no guidance and you base things off what you see on television, or if you're in an environment where you're seeing things that make you think that that's okay to be doing, that's what happens. So, but yeah, that's what that was. But again, it was our relationship was very toxic. It was a lot of things going on, and there's many times where I tried to walk away, tried to get away, but again, when you are dating modernly and it's transactional, you do transactional things to keep things afloat. And that's what happened. We kept doing transactional things, and I'm like, all right, cool. I'm player. It is what it is. And what ended up happening was there was actually an instance where she said some stuff that resonated with me and had me thinking that okay, maybe things are going to get better, because we're always thinking, all right, things are going to get better. We're going to work with this person. We're going to change them because it's going to make everything worthwhile when it's all said and done. But I'm gonna tell you now, 99% of the time, it's not going to be worthwhile, because that person's not going to change. You're going to keep wasting your time. So you can choose to keep wasting your time, or you can move on, because those red flags are going to continue to be there at some point. Even if they go away for a little bit, they're going to come back, because people are creatures of habit. And I say this all the time. So you can choose to, be naive and try to go with the flow and think that things are going to change, but 9 times out of 10, they're not. So again, I'm not going to be the dead horse, because nothing's going to happen. You got to kind of make that decision on your own. So again, moving forward. So she said some things that made me feel as though she was ready to move forward in the capacity of being with someone. For me, I was on cloud nine, because in my junior year of college, and I had just gotten accepted into my program, because at the time I was studying exercise sports science or kinesiology. So I was getting ready to either go in the PT route, so physical therapy, or I was going to stick with strength conditioning and go work with athletes and train athletes or whatnot. So I was super ecstatic, because I'm like, all right, cool. Um, with me getting into the program, now I'm a year away from graduating. So she said what she needed to say, in a sense, the hook and reel, right? Hook and reel. And I was like, all right, bet. Well, if that's where we're going, and I like what you're saying, I think we can move forward, especially with me doing what I'm doing. Again, we've been on and off for so long, and it's just a lot of toxic energy. So, but when someone has potential, it's like, all right, cool. Well, if they got potential, we can rock. And for the longest, she was the first woman to show me something different compared to all the women I was dating. So I was like, I can give her a chance. And literally got engaged, and things was cool for like a week. And then she did some more foul stuff, and I was like, nah, sis, you you're not about your word. You're not about what you're saying right now. So I gotta do what's best for me. And literally right after I did that, we found out she was pregnant. So, well, what do I do now? I'm 23 at the time, and I'm getting ready to graduate, and we were engaged. So it wasn't like we were doing something out of wedlock, in a sense, even though it was out of wedlock. We weren't married, but at the same time, we were trying to go down that path. It's just I got tired of dealing with the same old song, in a sense. I was like, I can't do this anymore. And I was like, you know what? But I got to be here for my kid. And what made things put more pressure on it was us finding out it was a boy. So I'm like, I really got to be there, because I didn't have my father growing up, and I am who I am today. I'm continuing to better my version of myself every day. Let me stop clapping my hands, because that sound effects and whatnot. But I'm continuing to apply pressure to myself to be a better person. And if I had a somewhat of a father figure, I think things would have been different. Again, a lot of people that know me, I'm a stand up guy. Loyal to a T, and I work hard. I'm goal oriented, et cetera, right? But I think things would have been somewhat different had I had a father. You know what I'm saying? So for me, with that ideology, I'm like, I have to give that to my children. You know what I'm saying? So with that, I'm like, all right, cool. I'm not. I know this not gonna work with me and her, but I have to do something for my kids' sake. So we wrote it out. But don't get me wrong, that pregnancy was rough, because again, I was away at school which was 3 hours away from my home, like my city. So I'm back home taking mad credits, working a part-time job, but it's like 30 hours a week. And for those who've been in college, I'm taking 19 credits, 19 credits, and I'm working 30 hours a week. So you think about it, 19 credits, each credit is worth an hour of study time. So that's almost 20 hours of study time and 30 hours of work. And I'm volunteering with the youth, coaching youth sports, and I'm mentoring through the YMCA. So I got mad stuff on my plate. But for me, I'm like, I gotta get this done because he gonna be here. And when he get here, I gotta be ready. I gotta be ready. So what up happening was I ended up getting a job in Georgia. So I'm like, cool, I got it set up. We gonna when he born, we gonna move to Georgia, and it's gonna be like that. But ironically, things were still like it just when I say toxic, I mean toxic, just bitter baby mama stuff before she was even a mama. Well, before the life was outside of her in a sense. Because of course, once that heartbeat starts, it's life. It's a living being in a sense. So I'm just like, man, I gotta figure this out because this ain't working, man. I'm just, oh, Lord Jesus, take the wheel, do something with it. um, so yeah, so I was like, you know what, but I gotta suck it up. I gotta be a man. I gotta suck it up. I gotta tough it out because this is my responsibility. It's my obligation. I made my bed. I gotta lay in it. So literally, I walked across the stage, and the day after, went into labor, and a couple hours after that, my son was born. So literally, it's all right, graduated, son was born, and then right after that, 2 weeks later, we moved to Georgia. So I'm down there working 16 hours a day, to make ends meet, working, doing my thing with uh coaching, training, doing all that. She was a stay-at-home mom, so it worked out, but she didn't want to stay home. She wanted to work whatever she wanted to do. She didn't want to be where we were at. She wanted to move back home. So I'm like, all right. So I quit both of my jobs or resigned from both of my jobs, and I'm like, all right, we're gonna move back home. And I moved back home to nothing in a sense because I didn't have a job lined up. I didn't have a space to live. So, I'm trying to figure it out. But at this point now, I'm the full-time parent, but no one's taking care of me and my son. So it's just me and him. But I'm cool with that because I would rather my son will be with me anyways, because I'm an overprotective parent. So him being with me means that I know what's going on, right? And I'm cool with that. But at some point, you know, things progress, get some jobs, I start working, I actually go back to school to start my master's. So now it goes from me keeping them 23 hours a day to now I'm keeping them half the day. And then at some point now I'm working first shift and going to school. So now he got to go to daycare. So it's just thing after thing after thing. And then, at that point I'm like, all right, I don't been single for a minute and hanging. Well, it's father time. I'm not even giving these females the time of day because I'm so invested in being a dad that I'm focusing on him. That's this my priority. I'm not worried about going on no date. I'm not worried about Netflix and chilling. I ain't worried about none of that because my kid is my priority. And if you can't, like a lot of these women say, "Oh, we're a package deal." I didn't even care about being a package deal because I'm like, my kid needs me. You don't need me. You want me, but you don't need me. So I'm gonna put my priorities on what needs me at the time. But again, things progress. So now my son is a year and a half now, and I'm like, all right, man, I got to get back out here, man. I'm trying to be booed up, da da boot up, da 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 da, right on my LMA ish, right. So rekindled with an old flame from back in the day, and things were great actually. Quite honestly, really great. And I kind of alluded to this in the last episode, but again, things happen when you know, BM started, wilding out, doing stuff, being toxic, and it just continued. So eventually, after I finished my master's, I moved an hour away to work, had a nice little job working at this university, and then the courts. Well, before that, the court stuff was going on, and man, I tell you, I kid you not, fellas, man, if don't have a child with someone that you don't know is gonna act crazy, man. Look for the signs up front because 9 times out of 10, the signs are going to show, right? Maybe not within the first couple of months, but after 6 months, you're going to start seeing things, or even after the first year. But if you don't have a child with somebody that one, you don't know, and two, you're not planning to marry. Like if you're not going to marry her and she don't give those qualities that you need, like And sometimes it's hard because if maybe your mother's not super involved in your life, maybe your grandmother is young, so um, you don't really have that like that image of what a good woman is in a sense, that one that's gonna take care of and do X, Y, and Z and hold you accountable to it in a sense, right? So, fellas, speaking from experience, make sure you get on point and stay on point because this justice system ain't for us, man. This court system, family court ain't for us. Now, don't get me wrong. In some instances, they'll look out, but in most cases, most states are women states. So, believe me when I say, don't just be mindful, be careful, be mindful. I know in the moment, it's like, yeah, da 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 da, look good, feel good, but not everything that look good, feel good, gonna be good in the end. So just be mindful of what you do, because I'm speaking from experience. So and I give backstories because I want people to understand where I'm coming from when I say what I say, right? So moving forward, um, go through the court stuff, and that was brutal, just brutal. I was feeling like Ice Cube, no Vaseline, how they treated me. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, y'all gonna do me like that? No Vaseline? I could at least lessen the blow for real. So, but I'm going through it. As men, we got tough skin and we got grit. Most of us do. So, I just deal with my thing was I just want to be able to be a father to my kid and do what I have to do. So eventually, like I said, I moved up north, was working up there, and then I ended up moving out of state to go pursue my PhD. So, working on my doctorate or whatnot. And that's when it really hit the fan, and it just more toxic stuff. Now I'm calling, trying to spend time with them, come pick them up and do stuff. And it's like, nah, you can't do this. And nah, you can't do that. And blasey, blasey, blasey. And if you've gone through the court proceedings, you don't want to go through that again because you, in your mind, you already said it's a kamikaze. You're going in to commit suicide, basically. It's kamikaze. So why set yourself up to be put in that position again, right? So for me, I'm like, I'm gonna just ride it out, have some tough skin, but when you're dealing with someone who their main goal is to be self-centered and almost like a sociopath in a sense, like I'm so worried about me and everything revolves around me, it's hard to do anything. So I'm just gonna put that out there. I'm not gonna say I'm not gonna go into detail, but it makes things hard. So literally, for me, my son is turning 8 in December. The last 9 years have probably been the most stressful. Like outside of the small victories and the milestones that I've accomplished, being a father has been tough as hell, like super tough. Because it's always something, man. It's always something, right? So now, fast forwarding to today, I've had the chance to go through the essence of going through a whole pregnancy, and that's been mad wild because, man, I tilt my hat to you women because, man, y'all be going through it, and not every pregnancy is the same, but this pregnancy for my fiance, well, the wife, it's been rough. Like man, the throwing up, the nausea, the stuffy nose, runny nose, not no appetite. Um, sleepless nights. Now the baby, he kicking like, man, Bruce Lee now. So every she can't even sleep through the night. I be feeling bad because I'm like, dang, you know, she trying to go to work and do her thing and hold it down on her end, and it's like it's tough. But I tell her all the time, man, you ain't gotta. I'm gonna make a way, so don't even worry about what's going on. If you gotta stay home just to get your mental right, I got you. Like I'm always gonna have you. I chose you for a reason, so I'ma always have your back, whatever's going on. And in essence, I feel that's one of the greatest things of having a good partnership is when the partnership is solid, it makes everything else easy. Doesn't matter. Y'all can be eating syrup sandwiches on the side of the road, but if you got a good partner, that good partner's it makes everything else seem like it's blissful. So like even with everything going on, like she don't speak much. She kind of be in her little bubble, but I know what it is. I know how I make her feel, and she reminds me every once in a while, like her appreciation and it's real. So I'm just saying, like I'm so excited to be a new father. Like I'm a father at the end of the day, but a new father because this is a new experience, and I know, like even with the outside, you know, issues and external noise and this stuff. We got you got ratchet friends and other people that you don't know as well, but they trying to speak on things or whatever. Yeah, that's gonna come. But when you got a solid person, it makes, like I said, it more worthwhile. And on top of that, you know, it makes it exciting just going through it because even if it's something bad, y'all gonna figure out a way to overcome that obstacle. So that's what makes for me it makes it more solid in a sense. So I'm super excited, and all the things that my BM took from me in a sense as far as experiences, because people do stuff like that. Misery loves company, and I refuse to give in to that and deal with that. And even with what the circumstances, you know, things only last for so long, and karma is real. You know what you do on the other people, it's gonna come back to you, and when it come back, it's gonna come back raw. Like you ain't gonna, man, no Vaseline, excuse me, times two. So I'm like, and I'm not wishing anything bad on anybody, but again, I know how the universe works. You put good energy out to the universe, it's gonna come back to you good 10 times. You put bad energy into the universe, it's gonna come back 10 times as worse. So, and every dog has his day, and when that day comes, just be ready for it. Just be ready for it. So, but yeah, being a father is cool, man. I just recall stories of just little things that my son would do that, you can be having the worst day in the world and they'll say something that'll make you like laugh, like tears come out your eyes, or they'll do something that's super sweet, like rub your face and be like, I love you, or, you know, are you okay? Like my son like say, you're the greatest dad. Like he always, even with everything that's going on, even if I don't see him as much as I want to, or be able to speak to him as much as I want to because of, like I said, misery, those miserable people, he still has a genuine kind heart. And honestly, I know he got it from me because that's and I'm not being biased, of course. I ain't saying his mama ain't, I may not mess with her on that level, but she not a bad person. She just do bad things, right? If that don't make sense, I know everybody knows somebody that do stuff like that. So, but I know he has a good heart because he has his parents have good heart. It's just one decides sometimes not to act on it the way that person should, and it's more of a manipulative sense instead of a genuine sense, right? So, but that's neither here or there. I'm not gonna sit here and bad talk people on my podcast. I just, like I said, I like to be authentic with my audience to let them know because I'm going through it too. There might be somebody out there going through the same thing and be like, man, Quali, man, man, I want to link and speak with you, bro. Like how you maneuvering through these instances, and I'm like, man, it's a struggle every day, regardless of what people think. It's a struggle every day. It's times where I'm emotional. Sometimes I lose sleep at night just thinking about, man, I miss my son and want to spend time with him, and then it's also the guilt of, man, this baby on the way gonna get so much love from me and his mother because we are a good unit and we're gonna parent him in the right way. Then I'm like, man, I don't want my other son to be like, man, you gave up on me, or you didn't do this and you didn't do that, and he get more attention. He's gotten more, and you was there for him for this, that, and the third. And I know that's a conversation that's going to be which will be needed, in the near future. And I'm ready to have that conversation, right? Because you got to keep your receipts. You got to keep your receipts, people. Especially men out there. If you're dealing with somebody who's vindictive and abrasive and acts outlandish and all kind of stuff, you got to keep your receipts because the receipts are going to, either a person's going to understand the receipts or they're not. And sometimes that take time, but keep your receipts, fellas, because it's real out here. Especially when you got to go to court. Keep your receipts. Um, so but I'm just excited because, like I said, one of the best things you can do, or one of the greatest milestones you can accomplish, is being a parent. You know what I'm saying? And again, shout out to those. I don't want anybody to feel offended. If you can't have children, I know that's tough. That's real tough. But for me, I'm just speaking from my frame of reference. Being a parent is one of the best things that can happen to a person. You know what I'm saying? Um, because it's helped me grow as a man like tremendously. I know me, I'm like, sometimes I'm like, man, forget this job. I ain't got time for y'all trying to play me. I'm out. But when you got that kid, when you got to go home, be like, man, my baby got to eat. My baby needs some clothes. You know what I'm saying? What Ace Hood say? baby needs some shoes, baby needs some clothes, hustle hard. I messed the song up, whatever. But y'all get my drift. You gotta get out there and hustle. You gotta do what you gotta do to make sure your kid got what they need. And I ain't talking about what they need, Jordans, True Religions, Dior this, Chanel that. I ain't talking about that materialistic stuff. I'm talking about making sure they got a roof over their head, making sure they got food in their belly, making sure you're doing things the right way, getting them some assets, some stocks, some bonds, stuff like that, some investments, maybe even a property. Get a property for them, not in their name, because don't mess their credit up. Because y'all know in our community, man, somebody quick to put a cable bill in somebody's name, a phone bill in a baby name. Baby, fresh out the womb, got messed up credit already, a 300 credit score. Ha, man, come on now. We got to stop that mess too, man. Don't be putting stuff in your kid's name because they got they credit is unblemished. It's blemished now because you want to sit here, then you don't pay the bill. They'll get it back in blood. What? Come on now. Come on, Pooh Shiesty. Can't do that. No, we can't do that. So we gotta do things the right way. But I love being a father, and it's great. And again, I've had a lot of growing pains with this because again, there's no blueprint to being a father, and not having a father figure goes, man, that at least with a good father figure, you can kind of mess up and ask for guidance, or even ask for guidance. And if you do mess up, try to find a way to maneuver around it. Man, it's been a lot of bumping my head, and man, I'm looking like Martin when Tommy Hearns gave him that bop, 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 bop and knocked him into the stands. Y'all seen that episode when his head was all lumped up and looking crazy. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just like, hey, but I'm excited because from every mishap, right? From every misstep, there's a lesson. And from that lesson, I grow every day. Every day I grow. Every day I get, more knowledgeable. I have more integrity. I have a tougher skin. I have more patience. So like, I'm just super excited for what's to come. And at the end of the day, I will say I had a couple of uncles that was, stayed with my aunts or whatever, and was good dudes, stand up dudes. They wasn't my father, of course, and they was there. They did a few things, taught me how to cut grass, how to paint, how to do more like around the house DIY stuff. So I had that in a sense, but a father in the household, and like I said in the last episode, my mom had a husband at some point, and but he know what it is. Like they still cool to this day, and he'll talk to me and whatnot, say a little stuff, and I'm just like, yeah, bro, like. Yeah, you wasn't that guy, my boy, but at the end of the day, I respect you for coming in and stepping up and helping my mom, raise 4 kids. So not a lot of men do that. So I give flowers where flowers is due, because he didn't have to, like I said, my mom never worked a day in her life. He made sure the bills was paid, and he's a grumpy dude, but all that jazz or whatever. But at the end of the day, I got to give flowers. He stepped up when nobody else would. So, and he stayed around even through all of the craziness, because I can only imagine if I was dating a woman with 4 kids, Lord, and they all got different dads. Listen, all right, sis, I'm a head out, man. I'm good, love and joy, because I ain't dealing with it, for real. And even if they not, it's just too much. Like, not saying I'm weak or anything, because it doesn't make you a weak man to decide that this is too much baggage for you to take off. And that's another topic for another day. Because Kevin Samuels, man, he was going in on these ladies, and they was hating it, like, yeah, you're a misogynist, and you're this, and you're that. Brian, bro, was just speaking the truth. Ain't no man trying to be with no woman that's over 30 with 3 kids, and like, come on, sis. But again, I ain't trying to disrespect. Let me fall back on that. If I gotta come, I gotta come locked and loaded, because I know they're gonna be coming with the AR-15s ready to air your boy out. So I gotta, make. I'm gonna give a backstory, of course, before I get in talk my ish, because I already know what that looked like, and I learned my lesson from past transgressions, man. If you're gonna come at the women, man, make sure you ready for what they gonna say on the back end. And I ain't talking about these young 21, 22 year olds, like some of these dudes on YouTube that be having these guest appearances, and there be these young chicks out here. Yeah, y'all can sit there and drag them through the mug and make them look crazy, because it's easy to do that. But talk to a 40-year-old, talk to a 50-year-old. and try to make them look crazy. I guarantee you, they might tune you up, my boy. So again, I'm gonna come ready. I'm gonna come ready. So believe me, that episode is coming soon. I've been talking to a lot of older women out here in the valley, and I'm ready for them to come on the podcast, and we have our conversations about relationships because it's real out here. Now, don't get me wrong, it's a little different because millennial, and we talking about late baby boomers out here for real. So, but again, for the sake of the topic, let's get back on Black fathers. Um, so yeah, man, I just want to again man, shout out to all the fathers out there. Happy Father's Day, man. I'm proud of y'all. If ain't nobody heard from you, even if you get that tool belt or if you get that tie, man, use it and run with it. You know what I'm saying? But that following year, we ain't doing no more of that. We ain't doing no more macaroni necklaces out here, females and children. I'm gonna need for y'all to step y'all game up because when dads step out and get the prize, the birthday presents, get the Mother's Day presents, get the I'm saying the anniversary presents, man. We be showing up and showing out, man. Where our love at? We want a little love too, man. Don't leave us hanging out here. That ain't cool. We want to feel valued too, man. We do a lot. We do a lot, especially when we in the household, or even if we not in the household and we got a co-parent, we do a lot. So, give us our flowers, man. Don't sit here and, you know, not do it. You know what I'm saying? Be stingy with it. Be fruitful with it. Give us what we deserve. Like it's hard out here being a man. Everybody always say, "Oh, it's men get all this and men get all that." Nah, we get the burden of accountability. And what I mean by that is you can't mess up as a man because if you do, that's your only strike. Now you labeled compared to women where y'all can do a false step, but you got all this stuff going on that come on now. And I hear stuff on social media all the time. There's always some type of way of bailing out the woman in a sense. Now don't get me wrong. I know that there's instances out here from from a monetary stance, right? Women want to be equally monetary. I get that. I'm not refuting that. If a woman can do the same job as a man, if she can do it as a man, as a man, cool. Pay her the same. Cool. I get that. But what I'm saying, other stuff, those double standards in society, let's talk about it because we can. And hey, you better be ready because I got my guns locked and loaded for real. I got them bangers ready. You said what? All right, hold on. Let me hit you with this. Boom. So, but again, that's another topic for another day. But yeah, just man, I can't stress enough how great it is to be a father, let alone a black father. We've been dubbed as the most affectionate, the most loving, the most uh attentive, even and we get a bad rap. They said black fathers not in the house. It's always that, stereotypical joke that kids don't know their father, especially if they black. But studies have shown that black fathers are more, again, like I said, affectionate, loving, attentive in the household, more nurturing than other fathers in other communities. Make that make sense. So how are we not in a household as much, but we make up a greater percentage, like over 50%, right? Over 50% of black fathers do those things. So how are we percentage wise less in the household, but we account for a higher percentage of those who have those attributes that we give to our children? Make that make sense. And again, society is so quick to try to throw the black man under the bus or make us seem like they want to over sexualize us, call us lazy, call us thugs, criminals. But a lot of us, man, we go hard for our kids. We go hard for our kids, but again, we got some of these women out here want to drag us through the mud, take us to court, and be on some other stuff because they feeling salty. Like, man, come on, sis. You already know they out to get us. Why add fuel to the fire? Why be a CIA agent? Why be undercover with it? Oh yeah, I'm gonna take you to the other side. Yeah, you think you gonna leave me, huh? Sis, it ain't even that deep. Like, let's just co-parent. Like, we can co-parent. Like, you can do your thing. I'm not here to impose on your will and what you want to do. That's not my thing. But let's keep that same energy. Don't try to take away from me because now I don't moved on and I'm doing other things. Then try to bash me and make me seem less than, or oh, you got a new baby now. Now you want to do this and do that. No, I still love my other child too. Let me be in my child's life. I hear it too many times. And I be like, oh man, I love paternity court, especially that one black judge. I want to say she either in Texas or Tennessee, man. She be letting them women have it. Like, oh, he got it. I mean, and it was crazy. The men be having the kids, and then they be like, "Yeah, I make $10,000 a month." Then when she hit her with that child support, Rico, oh wait, can I get my kids half the time now? Nah, you weren't thinking about that before, sis. So don't try to switch it up now. Now y'all see what us fathers be going through, like 2,000, 3,000 a month. Like, how is it even, man? I wouldn't even spend that kind of money if the kid was in the house with me. So I gotta like, who put the standard on this? This makes no sense at all. But again, that's another story for another time. And I got so many stories for other times, man. We gonna be lit for the next couple seasons. I got some hot stuff coming out, man. Especially the second season. Like I said, I got a lot of collabs. I got a lot of guest appearances for people coming on to respond to what I've said thus far, but also talk their ish too. You know, I'm all for that. I'm all for community. I'm all for people being able to express themselves, and we talk about topics that need to be talked about. Like a lot of this stuff that's on the internet is just trash. Like I might try to hit that, but people tune in. Like what? Come on. But yeah, I go on these tangents because my mind just be going a million miles a second. So, but yeah, back to being this black father. But yeah, the growing pains were real. Trying to find myself as a man and trying to figure out how to do that, and then becoming a father. And I wasn't young. It wasn't like I was 17, 18, 16 having a kid. I was 24 when I had my son. So, I had some time. I had some time to develop because they say most people develop at 25. Their frontal lobe is fully developed at 25. So I was a year behind as far as that. But at the same time, when my son was here, I was locked and loaded. I made sure that I started looking into investing. I started looking into life insurance. I'm like, I got to set me and my kid up because, tomorrow's not promised, but I want to make sure if something ever happens to me, he good. And I said, all my children are good. Who knows? So, we really got to do our due diligence as fathers and making sure that we stand on point and, we loving on them, giving them what they need. We got to stay in that higher percentage as far as communities that do for their children are attentive to their children, right? We just got to make sure we tap into that because ain't nobody else gonna do it, and they already got a few targets on their back anyway. Especially the number one target of being a melanated person. So we got to make sure we love on them and give them the tools they need to one have thick skin, but also how to maneuver in this world because you know it's becoming worse and worse every day, every day. Like even with the stuff that happened in Texas, was it Uvende, whatever, I forget the name of the town. What with the kid that came in and 19 year old, I believe he was, came in and shot up the school, killing 21 people, 19 kids and 22 adults. Like as a parent, man, that's tough, man. Like I'm thinking like, man, I want my son good because I even think about stuff with bullying. Like I be mad about bullying, let alone somebody coming in shooting up the school with kids that had nothing to do with it. Like that's wild. So as a parent nowadays, you really gotta be on point. You gotta worry about schools getting shot up all the time. You gotta worry about bullying, whether it's physical or cyber bullying. You gotta worry about these pedophiles out here, and a lot of them teachers, a lot of them be other parents. Sometimes it's the people at the church. You're supposed to be sanctified, but you out here preying on little kids. You know what I'm saying? Then you got to worry about the teachers too. More well, women and men teachers, but you got to worry about the teachers. Trying to make a play on your kids. So it's you forever on guard as a parent, and we just got to make sure we do our due diligence. And also, for last but not least, if you a black parent or a melanated person with a kid, man, stop letting these people diagnose your kids with these different diseases and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like for real, we talk about ADHD. Like I was diagnosed with ADHD as a kid, right? They had me on Ritalin, and Ritalin ain't nothing but cocaine. I said what I said. So you putting the kid on these category one drug, but you know what I'm saying? Like, but y'all want to talk about the stuff that's in the streets. Y'all ain't doing nothing but doping the kids up anyway. Like, man, be smart, parents. Do your research. Make sure y'all know what's going on. And sometimes, especially little black boys, they just got a lot of energy. Let them go outside or put him in a school where they're gonna attend to his needs in terms of being active. Because as an adult, right now, at 31 years old, I don't like sitting down for 8 hours, especially listening to something I don't want to listen to. So why would I put my child through that? Why? Why would I put my child through something like that when I know I don't even want to do it as an adult? And again, We talk about slavery mentality. That's all school is in most cases. It's just something to keep you in that slave mentality. Go get a job, work 40, 45 years of your life just to retire at 65, maybe 70, and maybe enjoy your money if you have time to, if you ain't half dead or have cancer from the foods that we eat here in America. It's all systematic, people. I talked about this in other episodes. It's all systematic. I need for y'all to get it together. I need for y'all to get on point. Man, don't get me wrong. That Taco Bell do taste good sometimes. I know that Wendy's do taste good sometimes. I know that canned food tastes good. You know, it's been sitting there. It's non-perishable, so it ain't going nowhere. It can sit in the cabinet for a couple of months and be good. But think about it. If something is not able to decay, that means it's not living. And if you're eating dead stuff, you're killing yourself because you're dying too. So, small tangent. We're gonna get on that too. We got to make sure we talk about the health. You know, outside of the mental health, the physical health when it comes to our food. That's spiritual health too, because that affects your spirit. You know what I'm saying? Oh, it's real out here. But as I wrap up this episode, like I said, I went on a lot of tangents because that's what I do. But again, black fathers, well, fathers out there, but specifically black fathers, I'm proud of you. Keep up the good work. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep having that black excellence. Keep loving on your children and you love your lady too. Love on her too. Give her props and you know, just keep the family together, especially the black family. We gotta stay together. When we were going through Reconstruction, we were going through post civil rights and the Civil War and all that. The thing that kept us together was us being together. We got to stay together, man. I can't stress it enough. Our community, we are the most prosperous community if we stick together and do what we got to do. So, but it's up to us. We gotta make sure we stop getting locked in on these distractions and being bamboozled. Malcolm X said it best. We have been bamboozled, hoodwinked, led astray, all of that for too long now. Let's love on each other. Let's be good to each other, and let's build this community up. Because it starts with us, especially if we want our children to live a better life. We gotta start somewhere. So, with that being said, it's your boy Quali. This is the Nah Stop Playing podcast. I love y'all. Appreciate y'all. And if you haven't already, follow me on Spotify. The YouTube channel, like I said, is coming soon. I'm recording videos. But it takes time when you're the only person doing everything. You know what I mean? So it's coming. And when it do, you can put a face to a name, right? You can see the accolades, you can see the smile. Because it's nice. Um, so yeah, but I appreciate y'all more than y'all know. Thank you for tuning in. And I'll be back with another serious topic. Come, and soon. Just know it's soon. I'm dropping, man, like Skittles. Like Skittles, we popping them like Skittles out here. All right, people, y'all be safe.